What do the grays look like? Have you seen a gray yourself? You mentioned you were an abductee.
Say, I swear to you by your sacred parents that I, Credo Mutwa, have seen these creatures close up. I didn't know what they were. That was in 1959. And I've got injuries to prove it, which are still there even now. When I have a bleeding through the nose, I bleed through only one nostril, my right nostril, into which one of these little monsters put its a instrument of some kind, very painfully, into that nostril. Now, the gray Mantindane, as we call them, the tormentors of people, they don't look like they look like. Their eyes, which are like little goggles, black goggles, are actually that. They are covers over their real eyes. They have got, a Mantindane has got a very large head with very thin limbs. And the first thing that you notice when you see one is its eyes. The Mantindane is about 3 feet high. It's rather thin with long legs and long arms. And it smells very, very oddly, a kind of chemically smell which can give you a headache. And what you think is the color of the Mantindane is really a very tight-fitting costume which hides the real creature under it.
I see.
Why do I say so, sir? Because Mantindane have been killed in South Africa over generations, and when they are killed, let's say if one of their craft falls down, and by some means they fall out and they lie there in the rubbish and they are dead, either their friends recover the dead ones quickly or they leave it there, and African sangomas find the dead Mantindane and they cut it, they chop it to pieces. But if you want to chop this creature to pieces, you need a very sharp axe of the type such as lumberjacks use in order to split the gray skin of the Mantindane to get at the creature underneath.
So the little suit that they are wearing is very strong.
Yes, it needs a very, very sharp axe. An ordinary axe will not cut through. And you will see that the eyes are really goggles which hide the real eyes of the Mantindane. And the real eyes of the Mantindane are exactly like those of a cheetah woolly. They are squarish slightly with split pupils like those of a cat. And the creature itself it looks like an animal which has been skinned inside the tight-fitting costume that it wears. And what happens is that when a dead Mantindane is found and chopped up by African shamans, they eat this creature. And it's an incredible and terrible experience. They eat pieces of this creature and they develop, as I did, a terrible rash all over their bodies.
You ate some of this?
Yes, sir. In fact, this is what I thought caused the trouble of my being kidnapped in 1959, because in 58, in Lesotho, the little kingdom inside South Africa, we had eaten pieces of this creature as a sacred ritual of eating a god, because our people believe that these creatures are gods, and a god must not be buried in the earth, but must be ritually eaten by the people who have found its corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you eat a mandindane, it tastes like copper. It tastes like if you take a copper coin and suck it like a sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It has got a strong coppery taste, and then it makes your tongue to swell. It makes a terrible rash lasting 3 to 4 days to erupt all over your body. And you go crazy. You start laughing like a fool. You can't breathe properly, and you can't eat properly. And if you survive that terrible eating of the god, you get crazy. It's as if it's an unearthly experience of such great ecstasy. Although your body is burning like fire, although your heart is beating irregularly, you feel this terrible ecstasy. This is why high shamans in my country eat the flesh of a mandindan in order to have this experience. So people who say that these creatures are imaginary, why are we able to eat them? And why have they been eaten in Africa for so long?
Yes.
And why do they smell? And you know, sir, a woman or a man who was kidnapped by mandindan carries a smell on him or her which lasts for many weeks, a definite recognizable smell. I carried such a smell after I had been through their hands, and when I came into various villages, every dog went hysterical and wanted to tear me to pieces, and my teachers had to use a large bar of blue soap in order, as well as sheep dip, in order to try and kill the smell which was driving the animals crazy.
God, they sheep dipped you. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Extraordinary. Go ahead.
And another interesting thing, sir, is this. In Africa, the mandindane sometimes